Welcome to Tarkov Tales, and a series of videos focusing on the traders of Tarkov. Who are they, and why are they here? This week, we take a look at Tadeusz Pilsudski, known by his alias, Peacekeeper. According to his bio, Peacekeeper is a UN peacekeeping force supplies officer, based in one of the central checkpoints leading to the Tarkov port zone. The UN troops have been venturing into small deals from the very beginning of the conflict, buying everything of value in exchange for Western weapons, ammo, and some kinds of military equipment. When we initially meet him, he has a small selection of various Western-made pistols and submachine guns, but his stock is fairly limited. It seems that he will only sell us more sophisticated equipment if we can improve our relationship with him. This proves to be a difficult task. We learn that he only sells better gear to survivors after his friends in the area have vetted us and we prove that we are worthy. To this end, he has a relationship with another of the port officers, Skier, who we have already built up some kind of rapport. We learn that Skier and Peacekeeper have been working together from the very beginning of the conflict, pooling their resources and buying and selling everything that they could get their hands on. He offers to introduce us to his business partner, but not for free. After handing over $6,000, he says we can expect contact sometime soon. After some brief introductions, Peacekeeper offers us some work. He tells us that he delivers things to certain people and gives us a sniper rifle and some tools to drop off for one of his clients. A dangerous mission to shoreline, where we must leave the rifle and tools in a hidden spot on the coast. He seems pleased with us once we complete the task, and promises us more work. We mark some abandoned UN armoured vehicles for him to strip down for parts to sell, as well as some old Russian T-90 tanks that may have valuable military equipment still intact. We get deeper into his motivations when he asks us to recover the SAS discs from 2 downed American drones in the area. He says that this may reveal information about troop movements from the beginning of the conflict. He says this is valuable information. We learn that he's also interested in working for the good of the people too, at least if only in appearances. He asks us to find some supply trucks that were attacked by scavs, and to send them a message by dressing up in UN gear, so that they know who that they're messing with. He then asks us to clear out the resort buildings in the shoreline of the scav presence, with shotguns no less, just to make an impression. He also asks us to mark a helicopter that may contain more valuable equipment. Once we've secured the area and marked off the road for his vehicles to safely get in and out of the resort, he asks us to find the tools he will need and to find some generators in order to power them. He's also interested in several locked rooms inside the resort and asks us to find the key. This is as far as he's prepared to let us into his operation, unless, of course, we're willing to part with another $8,000 to prove our loyalty, he says. Once we have paid for his trust, we get access to a lot of Western-made weapons and equipment, mostly military specification. These weapons are considered the most sought after in the area, and although they may be expensive, they provide a clear advantage over most of the civilian firearms that the local scavengers are using. We continue to help him secure the shoreline and surrounding area, clearing the scavs from the weather station. He tells us a group of fishermen have been spotted in the area and asks us to track them down. We learn that one of these fishermen once lived in the area, named Artem, and that he was somehow involved with Terror Group. After further investigation, we find some blueprints on a flash drive of a missile guidance system for Typhoon-class submarines, as well as information on an old Navy officer who he says resides somewhere in Tarkov. He then asks us to improve our sniping skill, which can only allude to some future work, but this is yet to be asked of us. We find a laptop at the collapsed tunnel on shoreline that he claims once belonged to Terror Group. We also find some blue barrels and some undisclosed cargo, the contents of which he keeps extremely secret. One of the most mysterious issues he asks us to look into is from information provided to him by other operatives. He says that one of them has not been to see him in a while after receiving a message about a strange glow in the old village area of shoreline. When we investigate, we find strange markings on the body of the informant. Peacekeeper says that it's some kind of cult, that make sacrifices to their gods in the form of weapons and leave them at several locations around Tarkov. This finally gives us some context to the special marked areas that we find throughout the region. After investigating the areas, he decides he's willing to do business with them, but then the trail goes cold. This is as far as our relationship with Peacekeeper goes, for now. We learn that he's interested in helping out the less fortunate in the area, but only if that doesn't conflict with his goals. He has formed alliances in Tarkov for this very purpose, but we suspect that he would quickly betray them in order to further his own ends. Like all of the traders in Tarkov, we can only get a glimpse into his underlying motivations and objectives, but for now, we are content with his support and assistance, if it helps us survive in the wastes of Tarkov. What's your favourite Peacekeeper equipment or weapon? Let me know in the comments.